Alright, this is Goblin Marine with a Week 8 recap for REL 5F. So I do apologize, some of the games for next week have been played. I'm trying to get to these as fast as I can, and I don't have the mini clip show this week. I apologize. So White Walkers of ReBBL taking it 2-0 over Squad Ghouls. That's an Undead Mirror match, I believe. Oh, that was an admin. No. That was a concede? 7 injuries, 2 kills. That may have been a legal concede? What? I'm going to go into that game. I want to see if this was a legal concede or not. And this is live. I don't actually know what happened. But this is insane. I think this is an Undead. And Squad Ghouls have been having a rough season, admittedly. I will say that. They've lost players that they shouldn't have lost. So we're just gonna kind of do this live. Come on. So this is the White Walkers ReBBL. So let's skip and see how this goes. So where are the entries? Turn 2. So he gets the ball. Digging in. Still nothing in the injury box. Okay, turn 3, or turn 2 here. Switch field. Still looks to be doing okay. Still doing okay. Stun mummy. Yeah, when does this happen? Because in the first half, things are going fine, it seems. So far. Oh, there's an injured zombie. Okay. Something regened. Okay. Uh-oh. Second zombie. Turn 6. Still doesn't have the ball. Still only 2 guys out. So he's stalled, basically. Okay. Dead zombie. KO on a Mighty Blow. Cool. Skip. Okay. Turnover, that's fine. Not sure what that's about. Second half. Still nothing. Still nothing, although that looks like it was a regen or... Okay, so... There's still only 3. 4. I like how it isn't listening to me right now. Okay. When a mummy went out, I see, that's painful. Dead mummy. Okay. Oh, so this is where the concede is. I see. So probably this mummy gets killed, and that's the concede. And... or just knocked down. We'll see. Maybe the school gets killed. Oh, is it a foul? I don't know. Yeah. So, that's not good. But again, Squad Ghouls has had a rough season. 4-2, Maisu Entice over Ayaya. Ayaya's got a thrower almost leveled. Man, almost a level 3 Storm Vermin. Rockin' and Niggle, but that's fine. How did this game go? Well, quite a nice bit of SPP for the Underworld, actually. Picking up, what's that, 19 SPP versus 23 for the Rats. Rat's going to do rat things. Passes, twice as many blocks for the Underworld. lots of injuries, and some KOs. So the Underworld did alright on the removal game. The rats just do what rat things are. How are the dice? Maisu and Tice got not the best dice, but Skaven can do a lot on 2+s with those gutter runners. Pretty bad block dice, but you know, you got 40% more skulls. Well, not 40%, but you got a couple more skulls. How are the dice for the Underworld team? Well, I don't know if the skulls mattered. Let's see. Rerolled, so you had to take one skull. A couple of both downs. Yeah, he was forced to take a couple skulls. That is rowdy. Alright. In the Underworld, terrible dice. That's terrible. That hurts. Pickups were 50%. Don't know if it was raining or not. That doesn't say a lot. Dodges were fine. Landing made it. Inaccurate pass. That's, well, throw teammate. That might be the throw teammate. I don't know. So he got some pretty bad dice. And really bad block dice. Yeah, so unfortunately, how many skulls did he have to take? Yeah, he got a lot of skulls, but he didn't really have to take them that often. It was mostly this pushes in the middle. So, again, not many POWs or defender stumbles. Lots of skulls, both downs, and pushes. So he just wasn't getting the block dice. He still got removals, but he should have had a lot more, it seems like, with these with the blocks, if the pushes had gone his way. So this is probably just a tale of Underworld getting removals, but not enough, and rats doing rat things with 2 players on the pitch, is what it seems like happened there. Billionaire Playboys versus SIT. Lizards versus Kislev. Kislev taking it. A pass, that's always good. Almost as many blocks for the Kislev as the Lizards, and not a lot of removals on either side, but the Kislev out removing the Lizards is a little surprising. But it was probably a skink, I would bet. SPP, that's a fair bit of SPP. You got 2 touchdowns, a pass, and an injury. How are the dice? Kislev taking some 1s. How many leaps? 50% on the leaps is not good for Kislev, no matter how you slice it. That is not good. Only 4, so it's not a statistically huge number, but that's not good. Dodges at 63. If those were 1 and 3s, that's fine. Catches not really working out. Go for it's 100. Some jump up plays, so he was being a little rowdy there. Block dice were great though. Twice as many POWs as skulls. How many of them, and were they spread out? 1 double POW, so it's 17 POWs on 18 POW dice. That's great. Billionaire Playboys getting twice as many skulls as POWs. How many were they forced to take? That was a reroll, that was a reroll. So it looks like a couple turns in a row. So that's turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. So Jeff Bezos obviously doing the blitzes. 50% for the first 4 blitzes or so, 50% dub skulls. That's terrible. But other than that, another dub skull. So the skulls were spread out. So they weren't terrible as far as the results of them. They burned a lot of rerolls though. And the regular dice, oof. That's a little painful to be so 1 heavy. Go for it's were fine. Dodges, I'm assuming these are stunty dodges. That's terrible if these are stunty dodges. The Crocs behaved, loners did not. That's how many rerolls? You burned, it had so many rerolls. That's a lot of rerolls to burn. So it seems like the dice didn't go the way of the Lizards, and the Kislev didn't get great dice on the rolls, but got good block dice and were able to capitalize. Hollywood All-Stars versus Talk Show Terror. This nice human team versus Necro. Ooh, leveling up a fleshy. That's big. 2 passes versus 0. Getting more injuries for the humans on less blocks, probably with less injury removal skills. So the humans are going to get a lot of SPP this game for humans, really. And what was the result? It was 1-2. Yeah, that is a game there. 5, 10. 20 SPP for humans, and you've lost the game. That is an SPP number. If you can lose a game and get 20 SPP, that's crazy. Versus 13, so you have two skulls, two scores, and one of the scores also picked up a touchdown. And then Ellen Regeneris picks up the MVP. Dice not great for the Hollywood All-Stars, a fair number of ones. And twos, probably you're doing things on threes. But the twos are balanced out by fives, so it's mostly just the ones that were heavy. You took about 5 or 6 ones from the 6 pool. Ogre behaved. Pickups went not terribly. Not great, but not terribly. Go for it. Dodges not working out. Really, so it seems like a lot of those ones might have been going to dodges. Block dice were pretty good. This does things as long as it's not a ghoul, and I don't know that this Necro team even has a ghoul. So lots of things going down, lots of successful blocks, clearly with those removal numbers. Talk Show Terror, not bad block dice, but not great. Lots of pushes, but plenty of POWs. Not being forced to take it. Well, there's a skull. So out of 20 skulls, one of them was a dub skull they had to take. One of them was a rerolled dub skull. That's not terrible. It depends on whether these had block or not with Wolf Blitzer. The regular dice were pretty good. Necro seems to have gotten good dice. Now I don't know if these were on armor and injury rolls. So, and that's likely with the number of removals. So that's a problem. Regen 2 and 4. It's close to 50-50. Dodges, 3+ dodges. Pickups were 4 or Agi 2 pickups. That's pretty bad on the pickups, actually. So that's a good game for the humans, even though they lost. It's a good result for the Underworld, or the Necromantic Underworld. Underworld was up here. Elves versus Chorfs, and the Elves, this was an admin match. Nothing happened. I don't know why it says that tree has 2 SPP when it got an MVP. Oh, because that's a touchdown, I see. This was, yeah, so this was this wasn't an admin concede. But even still, that went, it looks like on a loner. That's stupid. That's dumb. So not being played. 2-2, I feel, dodges ReBBL, which is a ramp-up team, obviously. Dark Elves versus Rock and Roll Rats. Leveling a Storm Vermin. That's good. So this was a 2-2 draw. Frank, this piece was at 24. It's now at 35. That piece put in some work. Getting 6 XPP on the 2 scores, and then the MVP. Pass and Mike also doing it. So yeah, he needed a pass to have gotten it without the MVP, but he got the MVP on it. 14 SPP, 7 on a different player than this one. So that player obviously got both scores and a pass, and then 1 injury. 2 injuries here. Oh, 1 injury. Couple passes then. That's what it was, yeah. So how are the dice? Elves were doing elf ball, but getting a fair number of ones. Getting a fair number of skulls, but not needing to take them and rerolling a couple double skulls. Getting a fair number of POWs. Skaven, decent block dice all around. Had to take a skull, but had to take skulls on some 1 dies. So got rowdy and got punished for it. D6s. The ones hurt a little, but got plenty of good dice too. Pickups were not Skaven-like. Dodges were not Skaven-like, if those are gutter runners. Catches and go for it's worked out. Loner, so either you've got a rat ogre who was not behaving. No, so there was not that wasn't a rat ogre because I don't see a wild animal. So Loner's doing some stuff with journeymen and them not really doing any, not re-rolling well. And last but not least, Stinger Security versus the Boney Boys. Khemri taking it over the Dark Elves. I know that this Khemri coach keeps asking why I like his team so much. This is why. If you can take Khemri against Dark Elves and win 1-0, that's amazing. That's great. I love this Khemri team. They're my favorite. I'm showing some bias here, but they're my favorite because come on, you got to root for the underdogs, and Khemri are almost always an underdog in a starting fresh season. 10 SPP. He got more SPP than the Elves, a touchdown, an injury, and a silent lover picked up the MVP. The Elves getting an MVP on one of their own players and a couple injuries. Stinger Security getting decent dice and decent block dice. So those dice aren't, those dice aren't bad by any means. So just not getting the dice he needed when he needed them, it seems. Yeah, that's a fair number of successful blocks. Okay. So a lot of skulls, but 2 skulls on a 3 die and taking a push. Skulls coming up on 3 dies. There's 1 reroll for skulls. Yeah, so lots of skulls, but they didn't really do much. You know, he never took a skull, so it doesn't really matter. The POWs, there's 1 double POW. Yeah, so the POWs were nice and spread out too. The POWs and the push POWs were reasonably spread out, so lots of good blocks. 36 blocks, same number of injuries, lots of KOs for the Pony Boys. Clearly, they got removals working on the pitch. And then how were the wake-ups for the Elves? 2 and 4, so 2 of his guys stayed down twice or something like that. So that's painful to not get those back. So we'll have to look at the teams and see how they did. So again, we do have some games played this week. We've had like half of them already played. We're going to recap them next week. But who's on top of the leaderboard? Delicious Elves, 5-4-0. They've already played their Week 9 match. Right behind them, Rock and Roll Rats, 5-3-1. Those have both played their next match. 6-0-2. So White Walkers of ReBBL can step past them. So with the draw, I think they move to the top, probably. With a win, they definitely do. Mice Who Entice can be... No, they can't, because they've already played their game. So the Bony Boys are also still in the running. If they go to 5-3-1, they'll be right up there in the top of the pack. Necro, Talk Show Terror, you're still in it for the top of the pack. So we're starting to get towards the end of the season. So I'd say the top 6 teams still have are still in good contention. Below that, it gets a little rougher. These Lizard Men probably, the Billionaire Playboys could probably get back in the running if they win out. You know, because if you win out here, you're at 8 games. So if you win out, that's another 5 games. You could be at 8-3-2. So you got a shot. Getting down here at this Dark Elf team, Stinger Security, it feels like they're going to have some trouble. You know, and they've already played their 9th game. So has the team below them. So those guys can only really go 6-4-3. I'm not seeing that do it with this number of teams up here. So the top 6 are still in the playoff hunt. The rest of you guys, unfortunately, are now playing for... Ooh, we have a vampire team pulled in. So, yeah, so let's see. One of these teams... there was a lizard team, I think, that dropped, unfortunately. And then the other team, the Squad Ghouls, also dropped. And those are not on here. So we had an elf team, a dark elf team replace the lizard team that dropped. And we have vampires replacing the undead team that dropped. Or was it Chaos? Yeah, Chaos Canadians got a bad MVP. So leaderboard, we've still got 6 teams in it, I would say, at the top here. And then below that, you're playing to develop and to play next season. So let's look at the teams. Let's do the schedule. So Ayaya and Rock and Roll Rats, we'll start with the game that's been played. Ayaya and Rock and Roll Rats, just to look at how those teams are coming along. 1250 underroll, that's pretty good for one season. Got Claw Mighty Blow on both blitzers. I like that. Claw on the Troll. I like not using my Troll, so I tend not to take Claw first. But Claw first is absolutely not incorrect. Uh, it's fine. It just depends on whether you want to use your troll or not. Accurate on the thrower, I don't particularly like that because you got animosity and it's at G3. But it's, again, it can work. Picking up 2 heads on the goblins, got a goblin or 2 within spitting distance of leveling to level 3 and a couple of spitting distance to level 1 or level 2. So this team's coming along nicely. He's getting some removals up here. He's starting to get into stunty territory. Clearly been trading line rats for position, and that happens. My line rats don't have any skills on them either. They're hard to level up if you have to use them. They're the ones you do want to lose if you're going to lose rats. 140, I would pick up the second thrower if I were him, but I don't know his style. He seems to be doing all right, so might just be a playstyle difference. The other one was Rock and Roll Rats. Where are they at? Second page, probably. There they are. 1150. Oh, but that's also... it's actually 1300. These guys are coming along nicely. He's got Mighty Blow on both of them. Got blocking skills and some stuff. Again, he's doing great, so it's whatever's working for him. If he's trading rats for wins, that's absolutely fine. His thrower's probably going to level up next game. It's hard to see where he doesn't. So he's up in the top, I believe, and he's got some good development coming along. Might be able to level Dave next game also. So as long as he's able to deal with the number of loners he's got, he'll be fine. Getting some good development. Mice Who Entice and Stinger Security, we'll look at them to see how they're developed. Mice Who Entice has some pending levels. Strength busted 1-turner. I don't know if I'm a Skaven player that I care about that at all. You would want that guy to have movement up, because right now he needs a push. So maybe you hang on to him, maybe you cycle him to stay lean. I don't know. You got another Surefeet guy. So his Storm Vermin are coming along. This one, don't know what he's going to pick up. He rolled, an AV busted. Oh, it's a lineman. Psh, whatever. Just hang on to him for Claw. Claw Mighty Blow on the Storm Vermin, that's nice. Other Storm Vermin is fresh. Got Claw on a Strength busted Rat Ogre. You got to cycle him out. That's sad. That's sad. But Mighty Blow and Block, so he's got some good linemen, surprisingly enough. Skaven usually throw them away. Stinger Security, Delicious Elves, and Hollywood All-Stars. So, where's Stinger Security? There they are. How are they doing? They're coming along. They got some good Blodge Blitzers, a Guard Blitzer. I think that's still a double, so that's good. Guard Lineman. Elves with 2 Guard. Ouch. Probably going to level the Witch next game. Got a pending level on a Lineman and pending level on a Blodge Blitzer. So he's starting to get up on the power curve a little bit here with these guys with so much Blodge and some cheap linemen. He's got kick. He's got a leader runner. So he's staying lean, and that's hard for elves. I would say they bloat a little bit. Hollywood All-Stars, that human team. 1390, coming along nicely. Hopefully they'll level the Ogre soon. He did lose one earlier this season, which sucks, but is a thing that happens. Tackle Mighty Blow, Blodge Guard. So his blitzers are coming along nicely. Going all in on the passing game with accurate and strong arm. Oh, that's great. That's great. So he's going to throw, what is that? 2+ quick passes, 2+ short passes, 3+ long passes, and 4+ long bombs. All he needs is this guy to roll Agi next, and he'll be amazing. Or Nerves of Steel, or Hail Mary Pass, or whatever. Like, that's great. I love that. Diving Catch, Sidestep Catcher. His next level for me, if it was me and I was building this team to play this pass game, it would be block all the way. So I've got a diving catch, blodge step catcher. And then you hope to roll doubles for Nerves of Steel Pro Elf style and just whatever. I'm going to put him downfield. Whatever. So this team's awesome. I like it. I don't know how many levels humans need to have on their linemen. I don't know much about human teams. I don't know if you usually run 2 catchers, but he's getting some development. Talk Show Terror versus White Walkers of ReBBL. So that is number 3 versus number 6. They're both still in the hunt. You know, White Walkers have lost a couple games. It hasn't been all roses for them. So if the Necro can take one off them, it'll make it really a hunt up there. Really a hunt for the cup. So let's look at those teams. Let's look at Talk Show Terror. The Necro team coming in at 1290. Block Wolf, Blodge Wolf, Mighty Blow White, Guard White, Block Flesh Golem, 30 player. Perfectly fine. These guys are line of scrimmage fodder. Don't know that you care. They're zombie. Maybe you fire the armor down one. I don't know, though. I don't know that it really matters. And White Walkers of ReBBL, 1420. So he's almost a wizard of inducements, but he's got more players. Dauntless Block Zombie. That's funny. He's got his big guy killer. Lots of Mighty Blow. And Guard. And again, a Blodge Mummy. Is that a Blodge Mummy? Are you kidding me with this? This is amazing. You just need break tackle on him. Who's going to stop him if he's got break tackle? You just hope for that 5+ for the raw dodge. Because a 5+ with dodge is like 4 9s. But then you got the strength there. Like, that is... Oh, I love it. I love it. Blodge Mummy. Who needs tackle to take down a mummy? That's insane. That's great. So this team is great, right? You've got your ball carrying ghoul, blodge stepping ghoul, and a couple fresh ones still trying to level. You've got 30 player. You've got this ridiculous big guy killer Grey Worm, who even fits. Look at him. He even fits his name. The Mountain being hard to take down. The Hound helping people out. This is great. This is great. So, Undead's strong, so is Necro, but the Undead have the player advantage. I don't know that you can count on Claw without Mighty Blow to remove enough stuff. Even with the Wizard, I think it's going to be tough. I think the Undead are going to take this game, unfortunately. As much as I'd love for our Necro player to do it, I think the Undead just have too much of an advantage. But again, I could absolutely be wrong. Chaos Canadians versus Billionaire Playboys. So we've got Chorus versus humans. Or no, Chorus versus lizards. 15-10 on these lizards. They've got a double Crocs, one of whom has no nega trait. This is the one with the Leader Saurus. That's pretty good. You know, Chorus want to really shred these last 6 players. The key is not letting them. We'll see how much guard and claw the Chorus have. That'll kind of determine this. But he's got some good skinks. He's got a push play 1-turn touchdown skink. Right. So that's always good. Sucks that he's armor busted, but you probably leave him on the sideline until you're 1-turning. And a block skink is always good. Block stunties are great. A Blodgesaurus who went dodge first, so he's playing the long game on this team. And with these top 4 players, he's got a good kernel, a good start of a team. And with, you know, these skinks, he's got a pretty good team. He just needs to not... He needs probably to cycle Jacob and at some point. And he needs these 2 to get levels. And Nicholas II of Russia definitely needs to hit 16 SPP, but he's fine with strength. That's great. The Shorf team, oh, there they are. They're getting a fair number of inducements. They've got a Minnow, which is interesting choice. He's got 1 claw and 2 guards, so he's got a chance to take out the lizards, but this game I think is going to come down to whether or not that claw fires. Because if he gets the Saurus off the pitch and can get at the little skinks, he'll do great. He'll murder them all, probably. He's Chorfs. But if he can't get at the skinks, if he can't get claw doing things, then it's not really going to... I think the lizards have what they need to take it. He's obviously got a lot of blocks, so if he's willing to take 1 dies on Saurus without block, then he could do things there too. So this is going to be very much a positioning game, I think, of Dwarfs trying to punch things and kill them, as always, and the Lizards really trying to outmaneuver the Dwarfs and score and play the ball. So I don't know. That's what I think this game will go. It could go completely sideways. Bony Boys versus Sylvania Sukayents. So we've got our brand new, fresh to the division, up from ramp up or whatever it is, vampires. So this is a 4 vampire roster. Plenty of thralls. Niggle's unfortunate, but whatever. Not a lot of levels. There's 1230 is mostly tied up in players. You got 14 men, 4 vampires. So 3 rerolls. I don't know anything about this player. This seems like a very conservative vampire build. Like you're really trying to not fail things early on. You've got plenty of thralls to bite. You've got 4 vampires to focus on building. 3 rerolls is, I don't know. I was given to believe that vampires want 4 rerolls when they have 4 vampires, but I'm not a vampire player, so I don't know. But Agi up helps with all those hypno gauges and blocks. So they've got that's a BS player right there. And then this one with dodge is going to do good. The other 2 vamps are coming along. Lots of, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 games. There's a vampire MVP. Oh, thrall. I think a lot of these MVPs were thralls. Check that again. Which really sucks. That's the downside, I think, of having so many thralls, is that they steal your MVPs, and no player got 2 MVPs. So he's gotten 5 thrall MVPs, and no thrall has leveled. That's that's got to be annoying. So there's that vampire team. Oops. We're in 5F. We're at teams, and we are looking at the Bony Boys. 1290. A block and a Mighty Blow Tomb Guardian. Blitzraw's doing things. So you've got Mighty Blow Tackle and Mighty Blow. Got the Dirty Player and a Wrestle Skeleton. Move up Throw Raw. So 13 players versus 14. The vampires don't have kill skills yet. There's no Mighty Blow. Most of them don't have block. So it's hard to say how this is going to go because vampires can hypno gaze the Tomb Guardians, and caging doesn't really work versus vampires. I think it's really going to come down to how much vampire experience the Bony Boys coach has. If he's played vampires and knows how they work and how to not get just beaten up by them, I think he'll stand a good chance, especially on the removal game. If he's never played vampires before and misplays against them, and the vampire coach capitalizes, I think the vampires could easily make this a runaway. If vampires get dice, or if you don't know what you're doing against them and they can play their game, they can do some terrifying things. So I want the Bony Boys to win again because they're still up there in the running. But I think it's really going to come down to the vampire coach and it's a coach matchup. Which coach knows the matchups better? Because Khemri can be oppressive, but Hypnogaze can undo a lot of that. Last up, I feel dodges ReBBL versus SIT. SIT is that ridiculous 2 strength up Kislev team. Still got them both. One of them is now Blodge, so that player is sick. This team, 1400 TV, they're starting to bloat because Kislev bloat. They're starting to get the wrestles that they need. They have kick. Just need to level these catchers, I think, and they'll see some improvement. They've had some. What's their record? 3-3-6 isn't bad for a Kislev start, I think. They just need to get a few more of these reliability block and wrestle skills. I think they're starting to get over the hump, but I'm not a Kislev player. Then I feel dodges ReBBL is Dark Elves 1310. Man, they got some SPP. Blodge, 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 MNG. Niggle, who's going to miss this game. So Blodge, 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 miss this game. Dodge, Wrestle, Kick, Agi, Wrestle. Yeah, this is a good Dark Elf team. They're on 11. So they're... And how much are they getting? 1310 versus 1400. So they're going to get 90. They could get like a reroll or a player. So they've got the skills it takes to make it hard to get the ball off of them, especially if it's on any of the blodgers. They've got a retriever in this BS lineman. So the Dark Elves are a good team, but they're going to be outnumbered by Kislev, I think, and not really getting a lot of inducements. No, they won't be outnumbered, really. Yeah, so they're even-ish number of players. So it's going to depend on whether diving tackle does things, I think. I'm saying diving tackle is going to be the driving factor here. Although, Ivan the Just Okay. It's either going to come down to Ivan the Just Okay putting in a lot of work because he's got wrestle and solo blitzes, or diving tackle, I think. Those are the two ways that the Elves really lose. And the Kislev lose just by the Elves being allowed to play a standard game and punch them, I think. Because these are some good players. I think the Kislev have the advantage because of their maneuverability with so much leap. They're hard to tie down with so much wrestle now. They've got as many blocking reliability skills, and they've got some strength on their side. So I think the Kislev have a slight advantage in this match, but it's still anybody's game. So that's it for this week. Starting to thin out the hunt for the playoffs. The rest of you guys, let's see. So if I say that Stinger Security is the start of where, I say 7. If I say 7 is where we start to not get the playoffs this week. Where are they? There they are. So what are you playing for? You're playing to level Thesaurus. So you want Jeff Bezos to get something. You'd like to pick up an MVP on Andrew Carnegie. You're just trying to punch things with Thesaurus, I think, and conserve your good skinks. If I'm billionaire Playboy coach. Stinger Security. Stinger Security. Man, so many good players. Just looking to build this. Probably looking to build up the Witch more. And, I don't know, try to get doubles on more blitzers. Like, it's unfortunate that ReBBL seasons are so long. Because if they were a 10-game season, we'd have like 1 or 2 more games, and you could really get right back into it. But with 13, with 4 more games, it's hard for me to know what to say to the bottom half of this. SIT, just get block and dodge on more players and try to roll some more strength ups so you can be a ridiculous meme team. Hollywood All-Stars, man, you're doing good on development. Try not to lose another ogre, and if you're really going in on this passer, probably pick up another catcher. You know, this passer is now quite decent at passing. You know, he'll outpass Elves, and he won't fumble, except on a 1. So this passer only fumbles on 1s if he's not in tackle zones or like disturbing presence aura. So inaccurate passes are a thing you can do with him too. You know, those long passes, you can punt with him. Well, you know, his punts are better than Hail Mary passes. Not quite, because Hail Mary can go anywhere, but long bombs from him are better than a Hail Mary pass to that range as far as accuracy of it going where you want it to go. So if you can, I think with this team, the way you've got it, you want to build somebody to try and get the ball free, somebody else to try and get it to the passer, and then just punt, and then get another catcher and make it a race. where you try and get the ball and punt it, and then your catchers go get it on defense. And on offense, a second catcher will make your offense. You got twice as many options for this passer. Like if you're going to go this passing route, I really would like to see another catcher on this team. You know, just to go for it. It's not bad to pass to the blitzers, but if you had another catcher, your offense would take a completely different form, I think. As it is, Ryan Reynolds needs nerves of steel if he's going to be the only guy down pitch. Back to the leaderboard. SIT Ayaya. So where is that? There they are. If I'm Ayaya, I'm looking to get Palm on these blitzers. I'm looking to get block or wrestle on one of these linemen. I'm looking for doubles. Any goblin that rolls doubles, you either want, in my mind, you want strip or wrestle. And then you take horns to go 2-die uphill. Probably wrestle's better for longevity. Strip is better for getting the ball against non-sure hands teams, but most teams will have sure hands at some point, except for like lizards. So probably you want wrestle. So I'm trying to get doubles on one of these goblins, and I really want to wrestle horns two-headed goblin for stupid cage diving shenanigans. That's what I want. And then I want one of them with big hand. I don't care if he's Agi 3 or Agi 4, extra arms, two-head, whatever. With Stunty and Big Hand, you dodge through any tackle zones on a 3+ and pick up on a 3+. So one of these three that doesn't roll doubles is getting Big Hands, in my mind. If it's me. I'm obviously not this coach. But one of these guys picks up Big Hands, and I'm looking for doubles on any of them to get wrestle. I'm looking to level up these linemen and get myself and get block on the thrower, for God's sake. Get out of 1 in 9 hell. Like, that's something that I say in the Underworld Discord enough that they're starting to quote me on it. But you start in 1 in 9 hell. Everything you do is a 1 in 9. These guys are out of it. The troll, as long as you throw 3 dice, is out of it. But these 3 rats are still there. You're starting to get your goblins out, right? So your goblins are going to get out of 1 in 9 hell really shortly here. You're doing really good on those. And I like goblin levels on Underworld. I think Underworld needs really good goblins. And it's not hard to get them good from a performance standpoint. But I think you also need your linemen to have wrestle or block. And that thrower, man, you got to play both sides of the ball with him. So I think he needs block next. I'm not sure why Accurate was taken. And I don't know how. I haven't watched enough of the offenses to see how this team plays. But I always go block extra arms on my thrower first until one of my throwers gets doubles or a stat to become the dedicated ball carrier. Right? On doubles, you take dodge on your first one. And on a stat, you take the stat, and that's probably your ball carrier unless it's strength. If it's movement or agility, that's your ball carrier for the first thrower to level it. And just go from there. I'll be done in just a second, honey, and I'll come fix that. I feel dodges coming up from ramp up. Got plenty of blodge. So probably the plan is just to get blodge on everybody. That's the plan. Your elves, you can get that much SPP in 3 or 4 games. You know, and try and get like remove Mighty Blow and guard or something on these blitzers, but just keep blodging people up. That I think is the plan, which is fine for this I fail dodges. Shorfs. The Shorf plan is always roll more claw. That is always what you try and do with Shorfs. Yeah, you just need more claw and more guard, I think, and then you need to stop playing Shorfs for the good of all of us. But Shorf hate aside, guard and claw is all you need. The minnow needs guard. If you're gonna play with the minnow, his first skill needs to be guard, because even when he wild animals, you keep that bonus to your team. And that's really the only way for him to reliably help them is to just add assists and be big and in the way. So that's what I would do with him. And the vampire team, I think everybody is clear on what the vampires need to do. Uh, I would like to see you immediately hire up to 6 vampires and eat all the thralls. No, I mean, so playing with 4 vampires is fine. Um, need to find a way to stop rolling MVP on the thralls, which is completely out of your hands. But if some of these MVPs were on vampires, this would be a much different team right now. Probably you'd have 2 more levels. But really, I don't know. You blodge up your vampires and then you start trying to take Mighty Blow and sidestep and specialize them to do things. I don't know how to play vampires, but I know that blodge is good. So I think probably that's always the starting plan with vampires is start aiming towards blodge and go other routes as they roll cool things. Although I guess you can take anything but passing on normals. So maybe take Mighty Blow on the next vamp to hit level 2, just to get a little bit of removals going. You got plenty of thralls to stomp with, but having a hit removal ability could help. But again, I don't play vamps. So that's about all I can say this week. Again, we've got a very competitive division. So we've got 15 points at 6th place, and we've got 19 points at 1st place right now. So 19 to 16 or to 15. We got a 4-point spread, which is a win and a draw between 1st and 6th. So it's still pretty competitive. That's it for this recap. See you next week.